So hello traders, good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, depending on whatever the time you're watching this video. So welcome back to this video again, actually our second video on our channel, and I'm going to break down BTCUSD according to my strategy. Actually, I'm going to break down top-down analysis from the weekly, daily, 4 hours, 1 hour up to 15 minutes. So stay here with me. Let me share my outlook and give you what I'm expecting on this market in the next few days. So if you take a very clear look here, on Bitcoin dollar, you'll just see like I'm sharing the weekly market overview, and if you see weekly time frame, we had the last buy which happened from this low 2021 back to 2024. This was 2024 around November, actually 2021, sorry, 2021 November, and this is the high that was created the same period. So from 2021 November to this high of 2024 March took actually around 3 years, which communicated that we've been in a sell from 2021 back to 2022, actually around 1 year, and from 2022 back to 2024, which we were in a bullish run. So at the same time, Bitcoin dollar has been breaking a high, several highs actually, and if you see here, we had another break of structure on the weekly after this consolidation, or what we call an accumulation pattern. So this simply shows that we were in a correctional sell. So this correctional sell here, which happened to be correcting from that high of around 23,500 back to the low of 49,200, which was actually the weekly low in 2024. Then from this low, we pushed back, breaking this high, creating a break of structure, and again we experienced another correctional sell, which happened from the high of around 108,000 back to a low of 74,000. This was a massive correction. So again from this low, which the market reacted off from this kind of an imbalanced structure or the inefficiency market, pushing back again to a new high after breaking that high of around 109,000 or 108,000. We had a new break of structure. So the highest price this market has ever hit is around 126,000, and this is the all-time high whereby Bitcoin dollar is holding as per now. So from this high of 126k, we've been dropping in a low high, low high pattern. So the most important on the weekly time frame is how price reacts on the weekly zones. So for instance, if you check the weekly demand trading at around 80,000, 82,000, we have a zone of demand, and it was not holding that massive, meaning like we've been in a very serious sell, and this is why when we see any correction like this, it's just a corrective pattern and it's not so impulsive, meaning like they still are much selling pressure, and therefore this kind of demand doesn't hold, even though that's a weekly demand, but still this is not a very clear demand to be checking for entries. But unless you're taking short-term trades, then it will mean like you'll get opportunities in between here. So one more thing you can still consider on the weekly is how the price has reacted off at the lower demand, which is trading at around 50,000 level. So the 50,000 level is still a very key zone to consider. Actually from around 59 to 50k, we have a very serious demand, and this is where the market is still reacting from at the moment. But if you pay attention what has been happening here, we had the first hit of our zone of demand, which has been trying to push back to that high, but at the end of the day, it's not showing a very serious buy pressure, which shows like there's still much expectation that we are going to be in a serious sell again on the Bitcoin market. And you can still trade up to below 49,000, which was the previous low, trading at around 2024 low. 2024 low was trading at around 49,000, and this is why there's still high probability that we can break the same low in the next few days. One more thing I will want to talk on the weekly zone is how price created this kind of a beautiful supply level and has never been mitigated before. So there's high probability that we can still expect this market to tap this zone before we can have any other massive sell, because that's still our key level. That's on the weekly. Back to 1 day market. On the 1 day, there's nothing much, just to pinpoint what has been happening all along, and maybe to refine our key levels that we identified on the weekly zone. So this is the weekly supply as well as the daily supply level. And if you see what has been happening, we've been in a low high, low high. From this high, this is where we changed our character. Here we changed, or we broken this low here, indicating our shift in structure. And this is where everything shifted from a massive buy continuation to a lower low and a lower high pattern, indicating that we've been in a serious downtrend. So if you see, there are supplies that were never mitigated like that, and this new supply created and new breakout structure created here again, showing that we're still in a serious sell. Again, there's a new selling momentum, and at the moment there's a new low. Can you expect this low to be broken? Yes, high probability that we're going to see that low being taken out anytime soon, because there's still high selling momentum. So what do we see on a daily market? There's nothing much actually, but what I can just spot is this market has tried again to shift from this low, pushing back to that high. Reaction from this minor zone around here. We've had this reaction here, and the market is still showing more of selling pressure. So this indicates that we still have to be very keen on how we do our thing. There's more clear opportunities on the 4 hours, which I'm going to still talk of the same 4 hours time frame. So on the 4 hours, we have this zone of supply which was created the other day and has been mitigated. That's why there's less probability that that level will still hold. So if you see the key level which is holding and giving us those sales, it reacted off from that level somewhere here. Last week we had a sell-off from around 66,000, 67,000, just been holding the sales back down. During the 4MC rates, we had markets reacting from this zone of supply, then it's been pushing back down. On the lower end, we have a demand which is still not yet tested from this low here. We've had that low, which market has shown potential key demand level, and therefore there's a high which was taken out here, showing a shift in structure, which is called a change of character. So we've been in a downtrend. This is why I'm naming this one as a change of character, meaning like we're shifting from this low high to a high and a high low, but still this key level is holding, meaning like now we're still very much bearish, and that's why I'm still considering being in a selling direction. There's another zone since after of this level, then there's new supply created around here, and still very crucial. So maybe I can just refine it back to around a 1 hour time frame here. On a 1 hour, the only thing I want to look for is how price will tap in my key level of about, what's the price, around 66,000. We have that level, which is still a potential key level and could give us a potential entry for another resell and target more to the lower direction. So this is why I'm still going to be bearish. And if you can see from what happens in this previous buy, there's no massive buying momentum. This indicates that there's less buying pressure, and market could still break this one, because this acts as a correctional bullish pattern or a pullback, either way. So this is why I'm still choosing to be in a short on the Bitcoin market. We're still very much bearish, and there's high probabilities that we can expect more of the sellers on this market. So stay here with me. I'll be giving you updates on how I'm going to position myself on the Bitcoin market trades. Then I'll show you again where we're going to expect the next movement in the next market. So all this will still be very important, and I'm going to be documenting all this in my YouTube channel, so that you can still consider taking positions, or maybe positioning yourself for the next entries. So I'm wishing you well. I'm wishing you a very peaceful trading time. Stay with me, subscribe, drop a comment, let me know what you want to learn from it the next time I'm drawing the next video. Then we can progress from there. So remember that every market moving is you moving. Cheers. See you the next one. Bye bye.